phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
The 2022 college football season has been over for a little over a week now. With that being said, we are now approaching the 2023 college football offseason, and I'm going to be making a lot of content pertaining to the 2023 season as we inch closer day by day. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my way too early breakout player nominees for the 2023 college football season. Before I move on, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's get into it. The first player that I'm going to be talking about in today's video is Tennessee quarterback Joe Milton. Joe Milton is the projected starter for the Volunteers for the 2023 college football season. In the 2022 campaign, he was a backup quarterback to Hendon Hooker, and he played pretty well in the 9 games he appeared in which he completed 65% of his passes, for 971 yards, 10 touchdowns compared to 0 interceptions. Overall, a really solid season. He capped it off with a New Year's Six Bowl win versus Clemson in the Orange Bowl, having a very dominant game, completing 68% of his passes, 251 yards to the air, and 3 touchdowns. I know in previous seasons when he was a starting quarterback, Joe Milton may have looked shaky, whether it was at Michigan or even in his first season at Tennessee. However, I do believe he's bound for a breakout season under this Josh Heupel offense for the 2023 college football campaign. He showed a lot of potential as a quarterback in 2022 with Josh Heupel and a lot of improvements, and everyone knows he has a strong arm, probably one of the strongest in all of college football. If he can really put it all together like it kind of looked like he did in 2022, he may be bound for a huge 23 campaign and may break out to be one of the better quarterbacks in all of college football and maybe even a dark horse to be a Heisman finalist. On to the next player, it is Oklahoma wide receiver Jaleel Farooq. Farooq was a first-year starting wide receiver on the collegiate level at Oklahoma in the 2022 campaign, and he played pretty well. 37 receptions for 466 yards, averaging 12 yards a reception and 5 touchdowns through the air, as well as 140 total rushing yards. In regards to the OU receiving room for 2023, there's a lot of questions about who's going to take that next step, and people are expecting it to be Jaleel Farooq, as they're losing a lot of production from 2022 to 2023 when talking about players that played a lot and recorded a lot of receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. They're losing Marvin Mims to the draft, their lead receiver. They're losing their best tight end in Braden Willis, who played a vital role in the passing game, and even Theo Weiss has transferred to Mizzou. Jaleel Farooq is the one that's expected to take his game to the next level, as he has the most experience and the most production out of all the receivers in that room at Oklahoma, and people are expecting him to take a really big step for 2023, especially paired with another season of Jeff Lebby and Dylan Gabriel. There's a lot of potential and a lot of expectations for a breakout campaign in 2023, but of course, it's all going to depend on what happens on the field. Staying in the state of Oklahoma, we're going to be taking a look at in-state rival Oklahoma State defensive end Colin Oliver. Colin Oliver was a guy who really broke out on the college football scene as a true freshman in 2021, as he was a freshman All-American, having 29 total tackles, 15.5 tackles for loss, and 10.5 sacks. In 2022, he had a pretty good season, as in 13 games played for the Cowboys, 28 total tackles, 7.5 tackles for loss, and 5 sacks. In my opinion, I think we're about to see the best season of Colin Oliver yet in 2023, as he's someone who's now going to be an upperclassman and is expected to be a leader on that Oklahoma State defense. There's another reason why I think he's about to take the next step in his game as a defensive end at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, they are losing some bodies at that position due to running out of eligibility, declaring for the draft, or even entering the transfer portal, and he's going to be probably the most talented or probably the most experienced one in that room, who's been there some of the longest and the one that's been getting a lot of starting snaps and a lot of snaps in games overall. I see his snap total going up in 2023, him taking a really big leader role as well, and being someone that's going to have the biggest season we've seen from him yet, stat-wise, number-wise, and leadership-wise. With this next player, it is Colorado wide receiver Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson in the 2022 college football season was a true freshman, but he was a big bright spot for this Colorado team that went 1-11 in 2022. Jordan Tyson led the team in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns in the 2022 college football season, all as a true freshman. He appeared in 9 games where he had 22 receptions for 470 yards, averaging 21 yards a reception and 4 total touchdowns to the air, while also being a good punt return asset. Everyone knows at this point, or probably should know, that Deion Sanders is the new head coach of Colorado. Of course, the new quarterback is going to be his son, former highly coveted 4-star prospect and Jackson State star quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. And this is going to be the best quarterback that we've seen at Colorado in quite some time. And there's a lot of hype regarding this Colorado program, as they're doing a lot of work on the recruiting trail, whether it is the 24 class or the 2023 recruiting cycle, or even really the transfer portal. There's a lot of players that are getting a lot of hype, especially at the skill position of receiver. But someone that needs to be talked about more about Colorado fans and college football fans that want to notice Colorado football more in year 1 for the Deion era is Jordan Tyson. I feel like Jordan Tyson's going to expand his game even more for 2023, put up bigger numbers, and potentially really solidify himself as a known receiver for college football fans across the nation, being paired with a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders. Staying on the offensive side of the ball for this next player, it is Auburn tight end Rivaldo Fairweather. Fairweather is the only transfer in this video, and he is a highly rated transfer as a 4-star according to the 24/7 Sports Transfer Portal rankings. He's set to play football at Auburn, and before his time at Auburn, he was a standout for FIU. In the 22 season, he played in 12 games, recorded 28 receptions for 426 yards, 15 yards a reception, and 3 touchdowns to the air. In his career up to this point, he has 54 career receptions for 838 receiving yards, averaging 15 yards a reception, and 5 receiving touchdowns through the air. Fairweather is a big tight end who has very good hands, standing in at 6'5", 245 pounds, being a go-to guy for FIU's offense in 2022, having proven production in 2020 and 2021. I'm expecting him to be a very big part of Auburn's passing game in 2023, and I expect him to have a big season in his first year on the SEC level. Well guys, if you made it this far in today's video, drop something down in the comment section below. Who do you think is going to break out in the 2023 college football season? And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. B. Kelly out.